afternoon, and welcome to Innovation Montessori's 2024 graduation ceremony. Before we begin, I would like to share a quote that has stuck with me throughout my high school experience. MLK once said, "If you can't fly, you run. If you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward." I just hope that this sticks with you graduates and any of us in the crowd in the future going forward. Thank you and enjoy.
Good afternoon. I don't know how I can follow that good quote, but I'd like to take this time to welcome our guests, our faculty, families, and of course our graduates. Today we gather to celebrate you, your achievements as you embark on this next chapter of your life. Throughout the time here at Innovation Montessori, you have demonstrated the pillars of our Montessori education. As you stand on the threshold of your future, know that you're going to carry the knowledge, the skills, and experiences that serve you throughout your career. So on behalf of the entire administration, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of you. I hope that every one of you, I hope your journey is filled with boundless opportunities and that you continue to make everyone proud. Congratulations, graduates. Our board president.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Let's see if that works. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We have our graduates looking very nice up in the front rows. Our families, our faculty, and our friends. As Heather mentioned, my name is Stacy Williams, and I'm here as president of the board of directors. So on behalf of the board, we are here just to support this remarkable group of our students in our graduating class of 2024. This may be a small school, but the hearts and minds that have been nurtured here are anything but. You leave here with a foundation unlike any other. Montessori's emphasis on independence, self-discovery, and love of learning has instilled in you a curiosity that will fuel throughout your lives. As Maria Montessori said herself, the greatest sign of success for a teacher is to be able to say, "The children are now working as if I did not exist." You are self-directed learners. You're ready to explore the world with confidence and without your teachers. The path ahead may not always be clear. There may be detours, roadblocks, and moments of doubt. But don't forget the lessons learned here. Draw from your strength from your inner compass, your years of collaboration. I'm sure some moments were sticky in that collaboration, and some a clear path. Creative problem solving and your critical thinking skills now need to serve as your guide moving forward. Ask questions, be inquisitive, think, and I'm going to ask you to also rethink, because that is also important. Be the generation that bridges divides, tackles complex issues, and champions a more peaceful and sustainable future. Remember, the Montessori family will always be here for you. We are incredibly proud of the young adults that you've become, and we can't wait to see the incredible things that you will achieve and the amazing humans you continue to develop into. Congratulations, class of 2024. Now I'd like to introduce the principal, or the speaker, Allison Franks.
Greetings, innovators. You made it! Before we dive in, though, I'd like to ask you that you indulge me in just one last of our favorite pastimes. Okay, maybe it's just mine, but I have a quote for you. Ready? Okay. It is good to have an end to journey toward. But it is the journey that matters in the end. There's slowly going. What do you guys think?
Yuri, you want to go on there? Yuri scale. Let's go on the scale.
That's 5 out of 5.
Oh my God! So, as I prepared to speak today, I found myself thinking about the very paths that each of you have taken over the past 4 years. The things you experienced together, and the parts you walked alone. It only seems fair that I turn my own favorite assignment on myself and share a reflection with you. Some of these questions might feel familiar to you. How do I feel? I feel so grateful to have known each one of you. To have watched you grow and evolve, to witness you stepping into adulthood as thoughtful and creative humans. Each one of you has a kind and generous spirit, and when you came together as an entire class this year, that kindness and generosity was and is pure magic. What will stick with me? Your humor and your bravery. Your freshman year was unlike any other 9th grade experience before 2020 or after, right? Whether you were here at our school yet or at another school, you were asked to learn in ways that did not exist prior to that year. You were asked to adapt at lightning speed, and you were asked to keep going even when things felt out of control, even when you weren't okay. Logging into Zoom every day and seeing your foreheads and your ceiling fans and your siblings and your pets, that brought a new kind of normalcy to my days that year, and it was a weird gift that I will cherish always. Not to make it any more profound, but you all are the final class of graduates that we will have whose pets I met on Zoom. What is a memory I'll take with me? As Dr. Seuss once said, hat tip to Kaylee for this quote, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. And here are some of my most valued moments. Board games in the hallway, unwrapping your senior table, circles outside, joyful faces around a parachute, and watching each of you support, celebrate, and sometimes tease each other. When I think of the class of 2024, I think of the community that you built. I think of the creativity you brought to life, and I think of our final circle where you cheered your colleagues on as they shared their capstones. What would I change if I could change anything? The time I got to spend with each of you. Selfishly, I'd schedule more capstone conferences, more circles, and more Socratics. Not because I like to torture you, contrary to what Jay might say, but because the wisdom you shared with me and each other in those moments was deeply gratifying. When I think back to the times, I'll always remember trying to teach you how to code on Zoom ranks really high, but not as high as the memories that we made together when you were back in person. Marshmallow towers, creative challenges, community days. Your class brought those into being. What do I want you to know about our time together? Your class, more than any other in the history of IMHS, helped to shape our school and the traditions we hold dear. You brought the ambassadors to life, student-led clubs, our thespian troupe, and athletic teams. They all came to life with you all. You designed out-of-the-box projects, covered our building in lovely murals, challenged us to try new approaches to how we did school. You championed our community, and you pushed our thinking. The biggest gift I will take away from our time together was watching each of you harness your own creativity in ways that I couldn't even imagine when you first joined us. Through your capstones, you taught us how to beatbox, shared the beginnings of original rock albums. I can't look at you all while I do this. The list is too long. All right. Shared the beginnings of original rock albums, percussive beats, and pop songs. Designed websites and apps. Examined how systems work together. Applied creative problem-solving techniques to improve how food banks distribute food. Developed lessons, classes, and camps for our younger students at IMO. Created animations and claymation stories. Learned how to edit your own novel. Cooked up a heart-healthy cookbook. Yeah. Where were we? Heart Healthy Cookbook. Right. Created a fun and irreverent coffee table book. Examined the economy of Taylor Swift. Learned how to paint a family portrait in oils. Brought to life recycling projects. Filmed and edited an athletic highlight reel. Designed and created lines of clothing. Taught the art of remixing and how to create a life vision. Approached teaching others how to learn with humor. Delved into storytelling and podcasting by listening to the stories of others. Created a book and corresponding videos to help students who are new to our country adapt and thrive. And even, designed a chainmail out of soda can tabs. Yes, I am wearing it. All right, so in your last reflection, I asked each of you to share a final word or phrase that encapsulated your time and experience at IMHS. As I read each of your reflections, your words filled my heart with hope, with gladness, and with awe. I'm going to share some of those words now so that everyone here can feel a bit of your journey. Exquisite, memorable, unforgettable, community, unique, bittersweet, mosaic, sentimental, superb, eventful, care, amazing. As I close, I will add my own word to leave you with. Grateful. I am grateful to each of you for allowing me to be a part of your journey, for teaching me so much along the way, and for bringing creativity, joy, and laughter to our community. I wish you long and fulfilling roads ahead as you continue to be the creative, problem-solving, innovative humans that I have known and loved for this past many years. It is now my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, Rafael Barragón Cisneros Jr.
Thank you everybody for coming out today, students, families, and teachers, on such an important day for all of us. Throughout high school, it's been a journey, all right, from learning on my laptop, where I had a Marlin in my background, that's on this house, we'll see, to learning about World War II or geometry. There was a lot of information that was taught, but most importantly, the school preached community and unity, a value that I have taught to others, including my kids that had it in my camp. While doing this in the process, we formed bonds with classmates, bonds with others, including teachers or staff. Those bonds have since extended outside the classroom and have taught me many lessons. Throughout my 4 years of high school, I've had a lot of experiences I would like to share. Experiences such as losing in a penalty shootout in the finals because my teammate missed both of them in the same game. He had the rebound and also missed the rebound, but it's okay. I learned what a verb was in my senior year. I didn't know what a verb was from this class. Even though I shouldn't have probably taken that class, stood by me and she guided me to write an essay in 45 minutes, which I don't think I could ever do. And now I can, and I thank Ms. Krause so much for it. And while I was either watching movies in Mr. Watson's class or on TikTok, I still learned what history was and passed my EOC. More of all, high school experience was different and remarkable for sure, and I wouldn't change anything about it. I appreciate everyone for coming out, and I appreciate all those students that have graduated with us, with the community we have formed. I feel like it's really memorable, and I'm glad to call myself a parent.
Next up, we have Rock Gonzalez.
My journey through IMO has been a long one. I've been here since 5th grade, when IMO was all but a little strip mall on the side of Winter Garden local library. But never did its size change the impact the teaching gave, nor did the community form through classrooms or events. As I moved into 6th grade, I experienced the best school year of my life. It was then I met my best friend to this day. That was a time in which I believed the students were closest in community. There wasn't a guy you wouldn't know. When we went to lunch, it looked like a Thanksgiving table or something of the Last Supper. Such scenery came naturally from sixth graders, and I see now that it was its own form of beauty. It was that same year we moved into the new building, which is now the elementary middle school. Although I wasn't at all studious, I had fun. There truly is bliss in ignorance. It was only in 8th grade, towards my final days before COVID struck, that my math teacher, Miss Natalie, encouraged my sudden interest in completing as much work as possible. And I believe that sparked my fire into my first year of high school. Now, while I still hold the stain of my first quarter's 2 Bs, making it impossible to achieve a clean 4.0, I am proud of the work I've done thus far. I am nothing like the man I was when I first walked onto the high school portables. With all the fun and wacky things, it surely did entertain me along the way of my academic journey. I want to thank all my high school teachers, whether it be Miss Allison's enthusiasm, Miss Becker's cheerfulness, Mr. Watson's clumsiness, Miss Yemi's kindness, Mr. Amato's love for Star Wars, Mr. John's encouragement, Miss Phoebe's leadership, Miss Lisa's care, Miss Keisha's commitment, and Mr. Upson's guidance, and Miss Cross's elaboration. And yes, this speech does have a deeper meaning. But more than my academic interest, I want to thank my mom for giving me the will to never give up, even when times were tough. This persistence is such a valuable tool, and I believe this is a tool my mom has taught me to lead me to future heights of success. My mom has supported me through thick and thin, and for that I can never forget the love my mom has shown me. Now I know many of you may be worried about what's next, or completely certain and steadfast in your goals. But to those mindsets, I believe they are both wrong respectively. Confidence will be met with an underhand move that swipes all your pieces off the board, and worry is a negative result in and of itself. If there's anything to take away from my speech, it's that every action has a result, both positive and negative, no matter how little it may be. The very knowledge of this has both negative and positive influence. A good day is only caused through the payment of a past or future bad day. The range is vast, but its intensity represents that of its opposite. You might think it's a form of balance, but as many have tried, perfection does not exist in this world, so neither does perfect balance. Some of you may be fine with the ignorance of bliss, as it doesn't matter which path you choose, the weight of pros and cons remains the same. But what lies greater above it all relies on the sacrifice of this leisure. Whether you are in the cloudiest of times, this is a concept you should remember. When I was in elementary, I remember thinking during bad days that a brighter one was bound to be around the corner, one that would make the negativity all worth it. And it is that same worldly law that applies today. All this to say that any decision negatively affects you. Not to be pessimistic, but most people only value the positives when making a decision and don't realize the inevitable consequences. And then when they do appear, they stand shocked at the outcome. Don't be clueless like this and understand the situation to its entirety. We live in total imperfection, perfectly made imperfection. Knowing this rule helps us understand how to navigate the world and get what we want. When thinking about our goals and what we want, we must know what we are willing to sacrifice. Nothing is free, not even an action. We must be ready to pay up when we want things in life. Sometimes these goals have unknown consequences, and it's up to you to take the risk. But never forget that they exist. They will creep up on you when you expect them the least. If you ever look back at your yearbook and stumble across my name with my nicely portraited picture, and wonder how I did it or what made me who I am, I would like you all to think about Christ the Lord, who has guided me along this path. For me to be here in front of all you all graduating, I cannot help but thank him for bringing me this far. To all my fellow graduates, congratulations. We did it. This is yours truly, Rod Gonzalez, signing out.
Thank you, Rob. And now, Yeja Rodriguez Aponte.
Hi, y'all. So, first of all, I want to thank thank you all for being here. And also I want to say, I don't know if she's here, but Miss Lisa, I want to say sorry to her because I'm pretty loud in her class, and I'm kind of annoying, so yeah. But I want to extend my gratitude to my teacher, friends, and family for helping me and supporting me. And once again, thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Yesha. Lucia Larga.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start off by saying thank you to our staff and teachers for giving us courage and strength to finish this last year of the class of 2024. Most importantly, I want to thank my parents for guiding me through life in my years throughout high school, even though I can be a headache at times. But I would like to say it's a blessing to be with you guys. And it's a blessing to have my parents with me by my side. It's been roughly 4 years of high school, but I can thank my teachers for always giving me advice throughout life as well. It is such a blessing to be with you guys. Bye.
And our final student speaker, Braden Young.
There's a lot of people here. Before I start my speech, I would like to thank all of our teachers and faculty. You guys do so much for us and for us all to be here today, so thank you. I would like to thank my classmates and my friends for being there with me through it all, for the new experiences, figuring it out together, for their patience when I still hadn't figured it out, for the laughing at all the silly things we witnessed around school, and the laughing at my minimal knowledge of social media and pop culture. And thank you for sticking with me through all the rough times. I want to thank my family and parents for everything they've done for me to get me where I am today, and for everything they do for me now. Thank you. I love you guys. When I first came to this school, I quickly realized that I knew very little in some senses. I want to share a story that illustrates this really quite well. Some of you have heard it before. So it was soon after my first year here had started, and my new friend Matea was telling me about the Thespians troupe that they were starting at the school. For those who aren't familiar, Thespians is a theater honors society for middle and high school students. I didn't fully understand it yet, but no doubt Matea had sold it to me. So I went home, and all excited, I told my parents I wanted to join the Lesbian Society. They asked me, do you know what that is? I said, yeah. It sounds super fun. It's a theater group. They corrected my pronunciation, and I learned what a thespian and a lesbian was that day. My parents and friends have laughed with me about that moment since then, but what I began to realize is that it's okay if you don't know everything yet. What is really important is how willing we are to learn. And good thing too, because there was a lot I didn't know. When I started to accept what I didn't know and become more willing to find out, it opened up my opportunities. It's about being okay with the discomfort and keeping our minds open to trying new things and new experiences. None of us really knew what was going to happen at our time here at IMHS. After COVID, so much had changed. It was sophomore year, and we were in the portables when I joined. We didn't know how it was all going to work out. We didn't know that someone would explode that outlet and incubator one day. Or that there would be a full-on funeral for the old Armando when he started dating Kayla. Complete with tuxedos, speeches, music, everything. For junior year, we didn't know we'd be moving to the new building, or that someone would steal a pipe in the boys' bathroom. We didn't know who would join our class or how special our time with them would be. We didn't know that Mr. Watson would be grading our assignments at 2 in the morning until the timestamp on the notification gave them away. Senior year, we didn't know that it would become impossible to get a perfect score in Miss Allison's class. And one thing I definitely didn't know is that I was going to be taking AP Lang, and with Miss Krause. Or that I would never be able to watch a movie again without recognizing all of its rhetorical choices. But then again, I didn't know how much I would learn from it either, so thank you, Miss Krause. I don't think any of us anticipated how much we would grow and change when we came to IMHS, whether it was someone who started in middle school at IMO, like Molly or Ra, or someone who joined us senior year, like Shalom and Staisha. As we step forward into the next chapter of each of our lives, there are going to be so many unknowns. And that sometimes scares me, but it's also really exciting. We have so much to look forward to, so many unknowns. So whatever that next Thespian Society experience is, let's embrace it, move forward, and live our best lives. Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Colleen Smith.
Hey everybody. My name is Cole. And today I want to come and just encourage you that as you build the future, to keep creativity close. In this video right here, you'll see some of the things that I've made in my lifetime on the next slide. There it is. In 2012, which sitting up here I realized was when you started kindergarten. To me, that feels like it was yesterday. I called a bunch of my creative friends who are musicians or dancers, and I asked them to come into downtown Orlando and play their guitar on a street corner or to dance in a vacant lot. We didn't have any sound or lights or permits or permission. Nobody told us we could do what we were about to do. But we believe that artists have the ability to transform the world for the better, that creativity is instrumental in making the world a better place. And over the last 12 years, I've continued to work alongside of creative friends to bring about beautiful things that hundreds of thousands of people have experienced, including what that became in downtown Orlando, which is an annual festival called Immerse that platforms more than 1,000 artists for more than 75,000 guests every year. And it just started with a little idea and some friends who believe that creativity is essential. I get to work in creative things that are really called creative things every day, but no matter what you go on to do, whether it's working at a bank or becoming an educator or a firefighter, we all have the opportunity and ability to think creatively and carry the creativity that you've learned at innovation with you for the rest of your lives. So I just want to talk about a couple things that for me is really instrumental to creativity. So the next slide. Creativity keeps us curious. The opposite of creativity is judgment, I think. Judgment says, I know everything. I've got it all figured out. What you think, what you believe, what you're saying, how you live, doesn't matter because it's different than what I think or what I believe or what I live. But when we are willing to stay curious, it allows us to continue to ask questions, to see what's new, to continue to ask that question of where can I go, what can I learn? I think one of the most important questions that I've had to fight really hard to ask and answer over and over again in my life is what do I want? And there's a couple ways you can ask that question. You can ask it like this: what do I want? I know you're probably in a position in your life right now where you feel like a lot of people have opinions about what they want for you. And sometimes maybe you feel like you have to fight for what you want. What do I want for my life? There's another way to ask that question, and it's what do I want? Sometimes we are under the weight of what we think we should do, or if we make a decision one way or the other, it might be the wrong decision and mess up our lives for the rest of our life. But asking that question of what do I want is really important, and it allows us to begin to understand the shoulds or the have-tos or the rights and the wrongs through a lens of our value as an individual human. Next slide. Creativity also helps us connect. I think one of the things that I've learned is that relationship is one of the most beautiful things in our lives. It's been so wonderful to hear some of the students come up here and thank their families and thank their teachers and thank the administrators at the school. And we realize and recognize the value that our relationships have. Growing up for me, I was kind of encouraged to constantly kind of narrow my circle, narrow my bubble, surround myself with people who thought like I did, looked like I did, acted like I did. But as I've continued to work around creative people, it's given me the opportunity to come into relationship with so many people who are different than I am. Different culture, different thoughts, different beliefs. And I've really begun to understand throughout the course of my life how that helps me grow. By staying curious and staying connected, it gives me the opportunity to continue to grow. A couple years ago, I got married to a Mexican, and it's been so beautiful to travel to Mexico and be part of a Mexican family whose family is so different than my family, who is here in the United States and has maybe a family that is a lot like what we would expect family to be like. To be able to go into a culture, into a place that is so rich and diverse and wonderful and so different than the culture I grew up in. And it's allowed me to stay curious, and it's allowed me to stay connected. Another thing that creativity does is creativity empowers us to solve problems that have never been solved before. Next slide. It empowers us to solve problems that have never been solved before. We live in a world with a lot of problems, and we live in a world where a lot of problems have been solved, and a lot of problems are being approached every day, and as some of those problems are solved, new problems are created. But what is true is that every time a problem is solved, it's because somebody has embraced creativity and they've said, this is the way it's always been done, or this is the way we've always done it, but I believe that another way is possible. And so they approach those problems with a new creativity and a new level that allows them to solve problems that may have existed for thousands of years that no one's ever been able to solve. But they've reached inside and they've drawn on creativity, and it's allowed them to solve those problems that no one has ever been able to solve before. We think about the wheel, when we talk about invention, it's like the thing that we go to. Like at one point, the wheel didn't exist, and then somebody looked at a rock. People had always looked at rocks, and they've just thought those are heavy things that sit there. But somebody saw that rock with different creative eyes one day, and they said, that can become a tool to help me achieve the things that I want to achieve. Lastly, creativity allows us to envision and realize a better tomorrow. You can hit that last slide. Creativity allows us to envision and realize a better tomorrow. As we take everything we've gained through staying open and curious, we run that through our imagination. Before we can manifest a better world, we first have to imagine it. We first have to see it. And creativity allows us to dream and then bring those dreams to life. I've heard so many wonderful things about how creative you all are, that you're a standout creative class. And that's why I was asked to come talk to you today, because I've had the pleasure of being engaged and involved with creative things over the last couple of decades of my life. And I just want to encourage you, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, keep creativity close. Because it will be a key for you to see a world, envision a world, and then step into bringing that world to life. The world is going to be different tomorrow than it is today. And that's going to be shaped by what I do and what I say. It's going to be shaped by what all of the families and people in this room do and say. And it's going to be shaped by what you do and say. So let's stay connected to our creativity so we can imagine what we want the world to look like and then work really hard today to bring that future into reality. Best of luck to every single one of you, and keep creativity close because I think it'll make your life really great.
Hello. So I'm the last speaker before we get to the really fun part. To the class of 2024, I'm so happy to have been your principal for these past 2 years. I'm sure I have learned more from each of you than you ever could have learned from me. I want to take just a quick moment to share a thought or two with each of you. Yasmin, Jeremiah, and Taylor, you were the first students I met when I came on my interview series 2 years ago. I was so impressed then and have continued to be impressed by your leadership and dedication since that very first day. Shalom. Even though you were a very late addition to IMHS, you've been a perfect fit. Thanks for choosing to end your high school career with us, and go Gators. Raphael, it takes guts and bravery to be a leader. You have shown both day in and day out. Kaylee, you inspire me with your maturity and your desire to see the world be a better place. I can't wait to see the amazing things that you will do. Riley, I totally caught you wearing a Gators sweatshirt at school the other day. Don't even try to deny it. But seriously, keep being awesome. Jay, you are talented beyond belief. I hope you never stop creating art. It's such a joy to watch it all come together. Christian, you've worked so hard to make it to the finish line. All the effort that you have put in this past year has been totally worth it. Rob, your intelligence is matched only by your kind heart and your artistic ability. You are truly one of a kind. Matea, when I heard you were going to Valencia, I thought, that's an interesting choice. But then I realized it was Valencia, Spain, and it made so much more sense. I hope you have an unforgettable experience. Molly, you are the only student I've ever known to pass 2 AP History tests without ever actually taking an AP History class. I think you might be a genius. Chris, you faced some obstacles this year, but you have met each one of them head on. I'm so proud of your perseverance. Cam, you might easily be the most chill person I know. You are loved and respected by all, and that's no easy feat. Lily, I've watched you grow in confidence and soar to new heights. Keep setting lofty goals and striving for greatness. Saisha, we usually don't enroll brand new students for senior year, but I'm so glad we did. You have been a shining star and a great addition to our school. Squish. While you may tend to be quiet, your lived examples of kindness and generosity speak volumes. Audrey, your poise and leadership are truly remarkable. I'm picturing a Tony Award for Best Stage Direction in your future. Brody, you've always been one of the hardest workers both on and off the field. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you. Jadisette, I'm pretty sure that one day in the near future, we'll hear a famous actress saying from the red carpet, "Oh, I'm wearing Javi." And Elise, you continue to push yourself and rise to every occasion. I'm glad to have known you and been able to watch you grow and thrive. Dylan, you continue to shock the world with your rhythmic talents and steady confidence. Keep doing you, and you will accomplish big things. Yesha, your endless determination and grit have led you to this moment. The future is bright for you, Chica. Julia, I hope you never stop performing. You have an amazing gift, and the world deserves to experience it. Mar, your creativity and your perseverance are 2 of your best qualities, and 2 that I greatly admire. Carly, These past 2 years are proof that no matter your circumstances, whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish. Yuri, I realized recently that I've never actually won a debate with you. If I'm ever in any legal trouble, I want you on my defense team. Ozzy, I thought I knew a lot of random facts until I met you. I'm so fascinated by the way your brain works, and I have truly enjoyed our conversations. Lucia, to say I'm proud of you is a huge understatement. Academically, this has been your best year ever. Keep pushing for excellence in everything that you do. Ian, your high school career got off to a rocky start, but your rock star spirit and your limitless grit have helped you to finish strong, so well done. Brighton, your parents were wise to name you Brighton because you shine in everything that you do. Keep lighting the way for others to follow. I've held it together. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. To the entire class of 2024, I love you all, and I pray that you will continue to be innovators and change makers. You've proven to yourself and to the world that anyone can make a difference. So family, friends, special guests, and colleagues, please join me in a resounding round of applause for our IMHS class. So, our next steps are really to pass out our diplomas. So, as Ms. Cindy reads the names, we'll have our graduates come across the stage, grab their diplomas, and we'll continue our ceremony.
All right, families, this is where you get your cameras ready. We just ask that you do not block our professional photographers after the ceremony. Anyone who would like to recreate the moment, we can certainly make that happen for you. Class of 2024. Everybody take a breath. Shalom Bar. Rafael Barragan Cisneros Jr. Kaylee Binham. Riley Canan. Jalen Wileen Duffin. Yasmin Fuller. Christian Gill. Ra Gonzalez. Matea Hayes. Molly Higgins.
This is Miss Alice's phone, by the way. Go on into this. Perfect.
Christopher Homer. Cameron Hooper. Lily Kiefer. Taisha Lapatoon. Harlequin Lasore. Audrey Lofiego. Brody McCulley. Taylor Morales Ferguson. Jeremiah Morjan. Javiset Pagan Iskidel. Annalise Pena. Dylan Ramsing. Yesha Rodriguez Aponte. Julia Ross. María Elise Serrano López. Carly Sybilrud. Yuri Sokolowski. Ozzy Tettleman. Lucia Vargas. Ian Vega. And Brighton Young. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. In just a few minutes, our graduates will be leaving the room, and then they will be rejoining you after the recessional. Class of 2024, if you please rise and face your families.